Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over Image Picker with TCA. And let's take a quick look at what we're going to build here. Very simple. We're just going to be able to open the Image Picker, select an item from our photos. We can change that photo. We'll have an indicator which photo is selected, and we can also delete the photo. Fairly simple, but there's some nuance using TCA. We're going to go over how to convert an image picker to data to an image, doing all of this with TCA. If you guys like these videos, please subscribe to the channel. I got a bunch more in the pipeline, but also leave some comments. Let me know what you would like to see next, because I'd like to do what you guys want to see. This one should be fairly simple, so let's dive right in. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is create a new library for PhotoPicker. We'll call this our Image Picker. Just call it Image Picker. Image Picker. And we'll just copy this and paste it. Rename it Image Picker. We're going to leave the Composable Architecture in here because we are going to use a reducer, and we are going to have some tests where we can test the conversion and all our actions. So let's go ahead and add some folders. Call this Image Picker, and we'll add a test one as well. Add our testing file and just call it Image Picker tests. Just call this test one for now to get the compiler happy. And up here, we're going to start with a client, and I've got some templates down here that have some other videos that go over on how to create. If you haven't seen those, I'll add a link in the comments, but these are pretty handy. And basically we'll just create a boilerplate client for you, get all the code that you generally need here. For our image picker, we're going to want to import SwiftUI as well as PhotosUI. Okay, because we're really going to just have one function for our client, and that is going to be converting a PhotosPickerItem into an actual image. And we can do that down here in the actual function. We will pass in the PhotosPickerItem. And what we're going to do here is we're going to convert the image picker to data, and then convert that into a UI image, then convert it to an actual image. And the reason why we go through those steps is there is kind of an issue with going directly from data to just an image type, where the transform data seems to get lost. So you can have, for certain types of image, that is, especially from the Photos app, it can have them upside down or different sizes or things like that. And that transform data is just lost in the transform. So if you convert it to a UI image first, then to an image, that seems to alleviate that issue. We are doing a custom error here. Let me go ahead and paste that in as well. This is just a couple basic errors of transform failed or invalid picker item, so that we can throw those specific errors. Let's see, photos picker item. There we go. Oh, we need to just say in, sorry. Okay, and so that is our live value. Our preview is going to be exactly the same as our live value. And so we can actually just copy this, paste it over here. But the reason why we're putting this in a client is because we are going to want to override the test value in some of our tests, where we will, we're not going to actually be able to select an item from the picker's item. So we'll pass in a custom PhotosPicker as item, but we still want to return an image so we can write some tests around how our reducer handles those actions. And so, even though we're not going out to an API or doing something like that, I still find value in using a dependency for things like this, like converting this PhotosPicker's item. And you can add other things here too, transform to data to upload to the API, or anything you want to do here. But this seems to be a good paradigm for me. Okay. Now let's go ahead and create our feature. So we'll do a new file from template. Again, I've got these templates down here. And I think we'll use the binding one because we're going to want a binding in here. And I think that's all we're going to need. So let's go ahead and create that. And we'll call this image picker. And again, this just creates the boilerplate for a TCA feature called image picker. And let's go ahead and bring in our image picker client first and foremost. And then we're going to need some state here. So first thing, to present the image picker, we'll need a variable that holds on to whether or not we are showing that image picker so we can actually present it. So let's go ahead and add that. And we can go ahead and just implement the hiding and showing of the image picker with just that variable. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So down in our view, let's just add a VStack here. And let's just add a button to basically show and hide the image picker. And we'll just call this change photo button tapped or something like that. Let's see, store dot send, and we'll say change photo button tapped. We'll add that in a second, and we'll just say text change photo. Let's add this action to make the compiler go away. We'll return none for now while we're dealing with other things. So the other things we're going to deal with, let's get rid of this, is to present the PhotosPicker. So we'll do PhotosPicker. We'll do is presented. We'll do $store dot showing picker, and our selection, we're gonna actually want to pass in what we selected. So we're gonna need another item, state item, to hold that, and we'll let's see, var selected picker item, we'll call it. And this is, that blue check mark we saw earlier. This is where we'll hold that. And this will be a PhotosPicker item of optional, we'll say equals nil to initialize it. All we need Photos UI in here. Okay. And then we're also going to want an action when that happens. So we'll call this when we actually select an item inside of the picker, just like photo item tapped. And we will pass in, a PhotosPicker item. Let's see here. And that might need to be optional, I believe so, because it's going to be optional coming from the binding here. And so now when we select, or what we're going to pass in here is just going to be a, let's see, store dot selected picker item dot sending photo item tapped. And that should be all we need for this, but this is going to complain because we haven't implemented this yet. So we'll do case let item, and we'll return none for now. Okay, so we should actually be able to see this work. Let's switch over to our image picker. Go ahead and build. Now when we select this, we should be showing the photos. Oh, we actually have to implement what we're doing here. And so we can do state dot showing PhotosPicker equals true. Let that build, and we should be able to do it now. And there we go. So now when we actually select an item here, we want to handle what happens when we tap this. Currently we're doing nothing. So let's take a look at this. First thing we want to do is set our selected item to this. So our state.selectedPickerItem is going to equal item. Then we're going to want to check and make sure that it's not nil. So we'll do guard let PickerItem equals item. And if it is, we'll just return .none. We could show an error, but the only way we're going to get in here is if we tap an item. So this really shouldn't happen that much, but let's just unwrap it with this. And then we're going to want to do our transform from our dependency that we added up here. So instead of none, we're going to return a run, and we'll capture our picker item. And then we'll do wait, send. We're going to need a response here, and let's add a new action for that. We'll call this, let's call this picker item transform response, because that's basically what we're doing. I can just paste that in. And we're going to want to return that response with its result. And what that's going to look like, we will do try wait, since this is asynchronous, our image picker client dot convert photo picker item, and we'll pass in the picker item. Okay. And we do want to be able to cancel this. Let's just add, since it's asynchronous, we can then just add the cancelable here to our run. Then we're going to need to handle our success and our error cases. So let's do .success first. And we will have an image in there. And what we're going to want to do is just set our selected image now, which we actually hold on to. Let's add a new state for that selected image. We don't really need to set that equal no, but have it. And now we'll do state.selected image equals image. We'll return .none. And then we'll do our error case for this. For now, we're just going to print the error. And return none. Okay, now let's, before we implement any showing and hiding of that image or deleting it, let's just verify that this is working. We can do that by we'll do print success, and we're going to print out the error if we get an error there. So let's show our previews here, and we should be able to come up here. We do get the print success. Great. So we have an image we're getting back when we select it from the image picker. We're not doing anything with it right now. So let's display it to the user. And if we don't have that selected image, if it's nil, let's display a default image. So we can do that down here in our view, and we can check to see if we have this. So let's do if let image equals store.selected image. So if we do have this image, what we're going to want to do is show it. And so we'll just do image, and we'll do, let's make it resizable. We want to give it a frame. So let's just do 200 pixels or something like that, right? 200, I should make this a constant. I'm going to do that real quick. So let's do 200 though. So we can just reference that here. And then we will use our rounded corners to kind of make it look a little nice. So 10. I'm just going to do 0. But that does say we actually need to import that as a dependency here. Okay, now what if we don't have an image? Let's just show a Z-stack and we'll, inside of that, let's give it an image with, we'll show that photos, what is it? I think it's just photo. Again, we'll make this one resizable. Give it the aspect ratio of fit. That's weird. Let's make the frame. Should be able to just do like height of 100. That'll shrink that down. Okay. And let's go ahead and see what happens if we do this. Select it. We have our selected image. Changed it. Great, so we're able to actually select images now. It's a little weird that this is a little bit bigger, so let's make this Z-stack the same size as our image, and we'll do a frame around it to make it a little nicer. So we'll do width dot image size width. And then we'll do rounded corners, 10. Line width though, let's do 0.5. Okay, so that gives us a nice border around here. And so now when we select our image, fills it in nicely. We have this. All right, this is great. The last thing we want to do is be able to delete this item. So we can actually add another button. Let's do this. We'll do store.send delete button tapped. We don't have that yet. We'll do that in a second. And we'll say delete image. And you know, we don't actually want this to be, we only want to be able to click this if we have an image. So we could just do .disabled store.selected image equals nil, right? And so this will only be disabled if we don't have an image. So if we do have an image, we should be able to do this. So let's go ahead and add our action. And all we're going to want to do in here is basically reset our state, which is our selected image. We'll set that to nil, and our selected picker item should equal nil as well. Okay, what is selected? Then just return none. Let that build. Okay, so we see that that is nil, which is great because we don't have an image. So if we go ahead and select one, now it is not nil. We should be able to delete it. Yeah, let's give a little spacing between those buttons. I think that should be all we really need. And we can do that. Doing something like there we go. That looks nice. Yeah, select this, change photo. We see that's selected. We go over here. That one's selected. Delete image. Great. So now we're ready to write some tests. So we can jump down here to our test file. First test we're going to write is just showing the picker button tap. So call this showing picker. And we will need a test store. Actually, first let's import Composable Architecture and actually, sorry. Image picker. All right, so let's do let store equal test store of image picker feature, and initial state should be image picker feature dot state. And oh no, we don't need that last one. Let's see, test store of. We need to make this main actor. There we go. Okay, so we have our test store. And I guess the first thing we can do is just expect that store dot showing picker equals nil. Let's write image picker. What did we call it? Sorry. Let's see here. Showing picker. Store dot state. There we go. Let's just run this, make sure this works. Okay, so it failed. Should equal nil. Oh, we're not doing that. It's false. Sorry, this is a Boolean here. Not an optional. Let's try that again. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. So now we can actually send our action. We can do store dot send or wait store dot send. Sorry. Let's see, change photo button tapped, and our state should mutate. To true. Should be your first test. And it works. Great. So the next test we want to write is when we actually select an item from the photo picker. We can do this by mocking out some different things, but let's go ahead and import SwiftUI and PhotosUI because we'll need those. And we'll write a new test. We'll call this test select photo item. Okay. And what we're going to do here is we're going to create a couple, an item and a photo picker item and an image here. There is an initializer for this photo picker item, which helps us a little bit. And then we're going to create our store, but we're going to override the dependency to return that image as opposed to actually doing any of the conversion, because we don't actually have a photo picker item per se that we can convert. So we're just going to do this. And then, the first thing we are going to do is, tap the button to show the photo picker. Let's see, we can put that in here. And then we are going to pass in the item that we create up here as opposed to picking one because we don't have the UI here. We're in a unit test. And then we're going to make sure that we handle the state change that happens here. We're going to make sure that the selected picked item equals that item. And then we're going to make sure that this image that we're returning here gets set to the selected image of our state. And let's go ahead and run that. And we see it passes. This is pretty much all the state we can test for, selecting a photo item. And it's a valuable test, even though we're not actually going into the UI and picking an item and actually doing the conversion. To do that, we would actually need to write a UI test, which is a valuable test to do as well. And the last test we really want to write is a test to delete when we delete. And I can go ahead and just paste that one in. And again, what we're going to do here, though, is we're going to define some state and then pass that state into our initializer for our test store, so we don't actually have to run through, tapping all the buttons anymore. All we're doing is testing that when we tap the delete button, the selected image gets set to nil and the selected picker item gets set to nil. So we want to make sure they have a value to begin with. Let's see, delete button tapped should have that. Let's go ahead and run this. Okay. Yeah, and that test passes as well. Okay, so that's some tests that we can write to kind of handle the state changes, as well as using a dependency to kind of propagate that image down into our state. And the last thing would be to go ahead and run this in the simulator and make sure it's all working. So we can go ahead and go back to our app, hit run. We forgot in our root, instead of showing launched here, we're going to want to show our actual image picker. And so we can do that by just doing image. Hold on a second. Do image picker here. And inside of that, we'll want a image picker feature. We're going to need to import image picker. Let's go to stop simulator. Let's go back up here to root. And it's going to need a dependency on image picker. And now down here in when did finish launching, we're going to change this to image picker and image picker.state. And down here, image picker. store, do case let, and we should just be able to do image picker. That should now launch our image picker. Let's go ahead and try that again. Let's see, image picker feature does not conform. Oh, that's the old one. Conform to equatable. Oh, I think our reducer needs to conform to equatable now. Let's try that one more time. There we go. And here we have our image picker. Change the photo, delete it. Great. So that is a very simple implementation of an image picker using TCA with a few tests thrown in there. You could write a bunch more tests. You could do snapshot tests to verify images, or like I said, UI tests to verify that the image picker is actually transforming to an image. But for unit tests, this is pretty decent to be able to kind of write some tests around the presentation of the image picker and to kind of send some actions into the store, which is all, the beauty of TCA. Again, if you like this video, please subscribe and like it, and leave some comments, and I'll see you guys next time.